turn the topic to health care reform and what the House Speaker said today. Mara, she said in this press conference that she may be okay with the public option not being in the bill, the Senate bill, and going along with whatever the trigger is. She says the trigger will bring on a very robust public option, though. She's essentially backing away from...
I think she just read the stage directions a little too early. I think what she said sounds a lot like what I think the final result will be, but she wasn't supposed to say this at this moment. In other words, the House was supposed to pass a bill with a vigorous public option, which it will. Then the Senate was supposed to pass a bill without it, and then they were going to go to conference. And guess what? Because you don't have 60 votes in the Senate for a public option, in the end, there wouldn't be the Medicare-style robust public option that House liberals want.
Public option, the government-run...
Yes, government-run alternative to the private insurers. She just wasn't supposed to give it all up now, because every time the president does something like this, like says how the public option isn't essential or it's just one element, the left gets upset and nervous and feels that he's bailing out too early, and then he has to scuttle back and reassure them that he's really not.
Which is exactly what the House Speaker's office did today by putting out a paper statement saying we have to have the public option, the government-run option
House bill.
In whatever bill in order to pass. Charles, what is this messaging that's going on? It's getting
there
lost.
Is no messaging.
In the Army, it would be called a premature tactical retreat. Obviously, there's not going to be a public option, and she's redefining a public option as if it's a trigger, it is a public option. So it's going to be a redefinition. The liberals will pretend it's not a retreat, but obviously it is.
Because that was the interesting part of that quote, is that be sure that the trigger will bring on a very robust public option. Guess what? That's not the message they want out there.
No,
that they're going to compromise to a trigger.
Well, they've remember, we've spent the last several weeks listening to liberals sort of beat their chests and puff up their chests and threaten to actually fight the president of their own party on his signature domestic policy agenda if there's not a public option. And basically what she said was, just kidding. Not really. We're not really going to do that.
We have experience with a triggered public option.
Should we say government option, by the way?
Or government option. Okay.
Everybody
government
gets it.
option. It's in Medicare Part D, the prescription drug benefit that was passed by George W. Bush. There's a trigger in there. It's never been pulled, but if drug prices get too high, the trigger can be pulled and the government can come in and negotiate drug prices for seniors. But it's never happened. It's out there, though. There is a trigger in the law.
Quickly, that's where it's headed, though, right?
Yeah, that's the end game, and the liberals will have a fig leaf, one that will be acquired purely by a new definition, not by a change in reality.
What is
a trigger will be sold as a real public option, but of course it'll depend on how high or low that trigger is, and that's what it'll all depend on.
And one other important thing, Olympia Snowe wants a trigger, and she is right now the single most important Republican on health care in the U.S. Senate.
Republican from Maine. The president's green jobs advisor